No, this is the type of person that's into this.
Okay, yeah. So Supermax prison, grand jury, all
Ready?
this kind of stuff, right? For allegedly for squatting in a house. So went ahead and did a short bit of digging because the story sounded interesting.
Anti-government couple read Bible in court to show they're one person, but we have two brains. So this is that square peg divergent on YouTube. So look at this guy, dude. This guy looks fucking nuts, dude. No, that's her husband.
So when I found that, it made more sense to me.
Yeah. It says a couple accused of squatting in a $900,000 Arizona home read a Bible in court to claim they must be able to speak to one another in prison because they are one person but have separate brains. This is in 2016. Randall and Jennifer Skates claim they are exempt from court jurisdiction after they were accused of moving into a bank-owned home in Prescott and claiming it as their own. They cite legal theories associated with the sovereign citizen movement to challenge their prosecution, although they deny actually being so-called sovereign citizens. So this guy's 37 years old at the time, Randall Skates, and his 45-year-old wife. So she's almost 10 years older than him. And it says they argued that the court had no jurisdiction because the U.S. and Arizona flags in the courtroom had gold fringe around them, which they claimed meant it was maritime court. Listen, Square Peg, if you ever watch this is exactly the shit we talk about, how that shit is bullshit. Even if it is real, if you go in there, the people with the guns and you're in handcuffs, they don't know any fucking thing about it. So it doesn't matter even if it is real.
Well, my biggest problem with a lot of that stuff, like especially the gold fringe flag stuff, is that if you like go beyond the surface level of that, you easily find out that there is absolutely nothing that backs that up. Like it literally is just a surface level like conspiracy thing. And then like you see that it tracks back to these quantum, really that comes from the quantum grammar guys. And the quantum grammar guys are fucking insane. Okay? They think that if you use the right syntax with hyphens and semicolons and hypercolons and shit, and you just write things the right way, somehow there's this magic trick that gets you out of everything. I mean, come on. If you believe that's just it, everybody got to move past that. Come on, that's stupid. I mean, like, look, obviously they were making meth in this house.
Yeah, come on. Okay, another claim in the video, she says, is in this $1 million house, they had to get to the water pipes, and there was no way to get to the water pipes without like putting holes in the wall. No, motherfucker, there was copper in the wall. This dude here, this dude was pulling all the copper out of the wall because he's a fucking tweaker.
Scrapyard.
You can't tell this guy's a fucking tweaker by looking at him. If you're
100% tweaker. I mean, like it's not even. That's not even speculation. We know this for a fact.
100%. Our math proves beyond a shadow of a doubt. This guy here is a fucking tweaker. And part of the story she said too is like, well, we talked to people in California that did this squatting thing and they were living in a house fine. So we did it. Listen, lady, everything online is not true. Quit believing everything. I'll be the only person to tell you this. Quit believing everything online because it's all bullshit.
Right. So, but it was a whole movement of all these sovereign citizens. And she goes into that in that video. She's like, well, obviously we're not sovereign citizens because that's a contradiction of terms. And blah, blah,
yeah,
you know, like
I've seen that video too.
No shit. But that's what it's called. Sovereign citizenship is what it's called. The dumb shit you're doing. You're free man on the land, Black Laws Dictionary, you know, this is old. I think most of us in our conspiracy community and circle knows these things. I mean, it's not like, but anytime you question something like that, people are like, well, it's the same thing with AIX, you know, like, oh, you just haven't looked at it enough to know that it's true. No, well, no, I know it in and out, really.
Yeah, I know it more than, I feel like I know it more than these people that think that they know it.
Okay, so there's all these sovereign citizens going around that were claiming that because the mortgages were engaging in faulty loans and stuff, dude, based on the grammar, just solely based on the grammar within the mortgage contracts that you're signing, made the contracts null and void, right? That's part of the whole theory. And then but there's segments of the free man on the land kind of community, but really it all goes back to the quantum grammar guys, because the quantum grammar guys are the ones that really started this idea, and then things trickled down,
Yeah. And they're gonna say they say like the postmaster of the United States is like the king of the whole world or some shit, right?
Right, yeah, everything's a giant postal war. The postmaster general really is the guy that runs everything. These guys are kind of lower tier than quantum grammar, but pretty much on there. But so basically, they filed a fake deed to get into this house based on the idea that the mortgage that was taken out on the house was invalid. Nobody owned it. They felt like if they filed their appropriate fake paperwork, that made them entitled to the house. But they filed out the paperwork with their names in all caps, because that was going to be their out, right? Because they could say that, well, we did this in our all caps straw man name, and that's not us. That's not us. So we're free and clear. So they fired their public defenders, and then so they could defend themselves.
Yeah. So these people defended themselves
using all these conspiracy tropes of these free man on the land. But at kind of like a basic level, right?
And it didn't work out too good for him. Let me finish this article. They said they shared...
Am I being detained?
We're one person who shares two brains. We need to confer. It said Randall did not verbally request to speak to his wife, but he filed 27 pages of motions and argued he should be set free because he never consented to be prosecuted. That's not how it works, dude. The judge reduced his bond from $1 million to $40,000, and the judge reminded Randall that his motions could delay the start of his trial. The defendant calmly stated his religious views before he was taken back to jail. I would just like to let everyone know I've confessed the salvation that Jesus Christ has brought us all, and I hope that everyone else in this room as well, Randall Skates says. So are they still married or no? I don't know. So I think she got like 2.5 years, right?
Separated. Yeah.
And then he got like 7 years or something like that. So I feel kind of bad because I watched a few of her videos and she seems sweet, but she seems like she just believes anything and everything she sees online. I'm sure this guy was like taking advantage of her and she just believed him. And now she's just onto this, whatever's on the internet now, archaics and all this other shit, just believing it at face value, not even looking into it.
She's one of the ones that's like doing, at least trying to explain and show how archaics isometric projections work, right? Like she's one of the few that have studied that. She admits she's autistic, right? So like she does kind of go and kind of break down some of these things that archaics just gish gallops about, So she'll do her isometric projections or whatever, where you like pick a date and then somehow arbitrarily you pick like a middle date. I guess there's middle flip years, right? Like 1998 is a flip year or something. And this is your brain on AI.
Damn, bro. We're going to hell. We are going to hell.
Oh man, Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy.
Man.
Hey.
So that's the errants we're at war with. That's the people that are censoring us. That's the people that believe in that stuff.
Hey, it's fair game. You putting that shit out on the internet, it's fair game for somebody to...
Yeah, you're putting it out and you're the one coming at us when we say, oh, they say we don't know what we're talking about when we come at this theory. And then they believe this, they believe all this other crazy, random, crazy shit, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.